And now we have a presentation from another power-packed individual, Ali Shabdar, Regional Director, MIA at Zoho. He's a multidisciplinary business technologist and a published author. Ali contributes significantly to the growth of Zoho's diverse ecosystem in the MIA region. Please welcome on stage Ali Shabdar. Ali, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. That's a tough act to follow.
It is.
Whatever I do, it's not going to match that. Awesome. So let's get it started. What we just witnessed, by the way, which is kind of related to what I'm trying to say today, is about talking to each other. I guess these guys talk to our souls for a few minutes. So talking to peers from a marketing perspective, and why it matters from a communication perspective before even we get into technology. So marketing is about telling a story and telling that story well to our audience. It's about communicating our story. And oftentimes we don't get the results we want. No matter how much technology we throw at it, no matter how much experience we have, we do not get to the results we want. Sometimes we go even on exploration to see what we want. So what is broken in the process? Is it our story or the line of communication? The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. I had to read this a few times just to understand what's going on. We say something, we utter something verbally in a meeting, through our email campaigns, B2B, B2C, all of that. And we think that we have communicated our message, but has it reached the audience? Coherence in our story is key. When we tell our story, and by story I mean how we market. We need to connect the dots. First for ourselves, to know why are we here, what are we trying to say, and say it to ourselves first, internally, between departments, sales, marketing, support, IT, all of them, and then go out and tell the story to the people, to our audience. Our peers are often strangers. We sit next to each other, different floors, different offices probably, but we tell only our pieces of story. Marketing comes up with something, goes off, do their own campaigns, buy their own software, do all the amazing work without sales department knowing. Sales department goes sales without support, we understanding what's going on. How many of us have successful marketing campaigns with all the bells and whistles, only to see that our support department does not have the capacity to deal with tickets, leads, etc., or the message that we communicated to the outside world did not match the product we have in place? This is due to silos, assumptions. We assume that so-and-so did their job, or they understood us and they went out and did their job. Misunderstandings between our mission, vision, our departments, our teams, misalignments. CEO decides something, tells the CTO another story, CMO another story, and trickles down into the frontline workers. They have no idea what was the original story. Insecurities and frustrations also kick in. Probably we saw it in the past year, post-COVID, during pandemic, lockdowns, work from home, all of these things, our personal issues resurfaced, and it actually added to the trouble. We keep talking about customer experience, but our employees do not have the experience themselves to transfer that to the customers. Imagine going to a fast food restaurant. Dubai is an exception, everybody smiles in the city. But if you go to a fast food restaurant, often you face grumpy people who do not have time to even make eye contact with you. You go to a family restaurant, you receive love from the moment you're received into that space. The food you eat has love inside it. Both are restaurants. Then we have a lot of noise. And the noise is sometimes the noise that we create for ourselves. We go out, read an article, attend a couple of events, buy a lot of software, get a lot of influence from different people, and bring it and try to just make change happen overnight. It takes time. And noise just makes us more and more confused. Fear of missing out on another thing, internally as well. Am I still relevant or not in the organization? Why do I care? If I don't feel secure in the company, why do I care what the company is doing? And outside, we want to see what our competition is doing. This is about, staying ahead, competitive advantage, all of these fancy words. But we forget about our why. I was watching this series, and if you're into political series, I would definitely recommend that. This is about a human tragedy we are all very familiar with and changed the face of our civilization, perhaps, in the past 20 years. Episode 3, The Dark Side, is about how the hijackers benefited from the gaps in US intelligence offices. And these intelligence offices, they have budgets more than the GDP of multiple countries combined. So money, technology, staffing is no issue. They have a global agenda, but they were not talking to each other. The interviewees were telling that this guy doesn't like that guy. That's why the two offices did not communicate. And this happened. This is an extreme example. I have a point here, not to undermine this human tragedy. But if this could happen to some of the most advanced and capable organizations in the world who have one mission, it could happen to us as well. From an email campaign to this. Because we do not talk to each other. Because we treat each other as strangers. We hide behind technology. This is from Forrester. My favorite part of this graph is this. This doesn't show 2011, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it says IT and marketing must collaborate to master the customer data flow. Today, we saw esteemed panelists and speakers talked about data, AI, all of the very, very important things that we need to consider in our business. But where the CTO and CMO and CIO meet, and do they also trickle that communication down to the rest of the team, is where you guarantee the customer data flow is seamless. It's a nice piece, actually, if you want to read it. The link is down there. Tools matter. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying let's throw the technology out. No, I'm representing a tech company myself. But before technology, we're dealing with humans. But tools that help us communicate, collaborate, and automate better, and propagate our message more effectively, and also get the intelligence that we need to know what to do next are super important. I'm not going to talk about it because we all know all the tools available to us. Just focusing on the people side of things. AI is the future. But sometimes we overdo it, or we put it in the wrong places. When I lost my credit card, or it's stolen, or it's compromised, and I call my favorite bank, I don't want to talk to Eve. I'm frustrated. I want to talk to someone as a premium account holder. So let's not turn our customers into Morty. Let's not do that. Results that we are after, our goals, our outcomes that we want to do, they are the result of actions. We have to take actions. Strategy, plans, tactics, all of the obvious things. But they happen, actions happen, within the space we call space of conversation. This goes even beyond communication. Communication sometimes is just one way. You just send your message, you check if they received it, was it good or not. Conversation is a two-way communication. You sit with the other person, you converse. So to keep that space available, maintain it, make it sustain, will allow constant exchange of information within which actions happen as a result of which we'll have the results. So this is the space that we need to focus on. And starting from our processes, our mindset, the way we think, into our technology and day-to-day business. So to get into results, and these will sound very obvious, but I think all of us somehow suffer from not really getting there. Putting people first, bringing everyone together. This is not fluff. If we're implementing a new system, if it's an ERP, if it's an MIS, whatever we're doing, let's not make that decision between the C-suite. Let's invite someone from the field, a team from the field. Let us know what they're doing, what they're dealing with on a daily basis, what we're doing to them. They always feel like that. It's like nobody's doing anything for me, they just do it to me. From tomorrow, we have to use this system. Go to 3 months training, probably travel or not, and then that will be a flip of a switch. You want to change human behavior. For those who have kids, I think good luck doing it after the age of 3. Revisiting function-based actions in a SWOT analysis. Boring, good old boring SWOT analysis. Let's focus on weaknesses and threats that we have internally. And I'm just talking purely internally. Lines of communication, spaces of conversation. Where is it that the communication is not happening? Where is the leak? And bring it into process level, and then to training and to onboarding, and later on doing other things. And again, onboarding key teams and personnel. Establishing a single source of truth for data. The data flow that we talked about, all the AI that is going to make decision and predict the behavior of our customer, it cannot do it if the data is siloed. You have to tell the whole story. AI is actually dangerous if not used properly. There was recently a research about facial recognition AI, which is quite accurate, but grossly biased. The AI turned out to be racially biased because the data that was fed to it, which it found from the internet, made it racist. Can you imagine? Who's going to go audit that guy? Impossible. So garbage in, garbage out, still with machines, just like children. Whatever you train them, how you nurture them, they're going to turn out growing up either this way or that way. Customer experience and employee experience are super important. They actually complement each other. Again, there are tools, there are philosophies, there are methodologies to do that. But we have to bring this to focus, away from the fluff. By employee experience, I'm not talking about Pizza Thursdays. I'm talking about really sitting and understanding what they need. And of course, using all the bells and whistles available to us, business intelligence, AI, machine learning, all the beautiful software that is out there available, some of which you saw today, some of which are outside. Only through communication can human life hold meaning. This is probably one of the very few things that distinguishes us from other species, effective communication. We reached here today because we can talk to each other. We can team up towards a certain goal. But sometimes that language, that talking does not serve us the way it should. So let's search for the meaning of life there. To wrap up, we are from Zoho. In the past 25 years, we built a platform of multitude of apps with one goal, to focus on customer experience and helping teams communicate better and connect the information dots together to tell a better story, have a robust message out there. We're not perfect. We're doing a good job. We're not perfect. We're getting there. There's no doubt about that. But this has been our focus. Customer experience, employee experience, privacy, because we are dealing with human beings. Together, it builds the operating system for business. So I hope today, after this session, and after that amazing previous session, which really helped us, I guess, wake up, we go out with some tickling questions. It's okay to feel a bit uneasy and go back and revise a few things. And it's your turn to get back to office and get back to your teams, inspire them, and talk to them about how to communicate better, how to tell the story to each other better, so we're not strangers to each other anymore. Thank you.